Hey guys, welcome back. So today I'm going to be discussing Gemini Man, which I picked up last week. Just checked it out today, starring Will Smith and Mary Elizabeth Winstead, directed by Ang Lee and written by David Benioff of Game of Thrones. So, I checked out the trailers to this thing. It looked pretty cool. Old Will Smith versus young Will Smith. What's not to love? I love Will. He makes great action films. And I've followed his career since The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, so I've always enjoyed his films. And also a massive fan of Ang Lee with Crouching Tiger, The Life of Pi, Hulk. I love what he does. He's a great visionary filmmaker. He tells great stories. But he's kind of been delving into a new format with his films these days, and he's filming his movies in 120 frames per second. Now, this version of the film in 4K was presented in 60 frames per second rather than the regular 24 frames per second. And yeah, I have to say I am not a fan. It looked terrible. I mean, the detail was there. I mean, the quality of image was incredible with the 4K and the HDR. I mean, the detail was just insane. It was full screen. It was stunning. The only problem was that I felt like I was watching somebody's home movie. It was flat, lacked life, and just looked really weird. So that whole cinematic polish we get from 24 frames per second was gone. It didn't feel like I was watching a movie. It just felt off. So I know Peter Jackson did the same thing with The Hobbit, and then there was a bit of an outcry about that. And Ang Lee also tried using this format in his previous film, Billy Lynn's Long Halftime Walk, which I've not seen. It's there at the store on 4K, and I was really kind of tempted to pick it up to see what it was like, but I never got around to it. So I picked up Gemini Man. I did not know it was going to be in 60 frames per second. It comes with the 4K and the Blu-ray. But when I put the 4K in, but there was no real option to change that format. Instead, it was going to be presented in the 60 frames per second format. And yeah, so I gave it a shot. I was pretty excited initially because I was very curious about it. But like I said, it just kind of was really disappointing. I didn't like the way it looked at all. And everything just looked fake. And I think that's the best way I can describe it. Like, it just looked like somebody was filming actors making a movie behind the scenes with their iPhone. And yeah, the detail in the makeup, the clothing, the sets, it just didn't play true to what cinema is meant to be about. Suspension of disbelief. We're watching a movie, we're getting swept away with the magic. So this 60 frames per second presentation was just ultra realistic and kind of just didn't look good. So I got about 30 minutes into the movie, then I swapped over to Blu-ray. So this is the first time I've ever downgraded from 4K down to Blu-ray because I thought the movie looked better. So that's what I decided to do, and I finished out the film. Now, the movie itself, yeah, it's okay. It wasn't fantastic. I was kind of expecting a really great Will Smith film, but the story was a little bit meh, and the special effects on the younger version of Will Smith, who Will Smith also played, just the eyes were a little bit off. So I kind of, every time young Will Smith was on screen, I just couldn't get past the eyes, and they were supposed to be the true emotive window to the soul of this character, and all I saw was CGI. So that did take me out of it a little bit. But having said that, the action set pieces in this were insane. There was a pretty cool bike chase scene, and there was a really awesome fight scene too where the two characters were fighting. So technically, yeah, those scenes were incredible. Mary Elizabeth Winstead, I love her. She's a great actress, and I was very happy to see her here. I didn't know she was in this film, and Clive Owen is a really good villain as well. But the whole gimmick of this film is younger Will Smith versus older Will Smith. And yeah, for the most part, it was entertaining, but by the end of the movie, I was pretty much done with it. I don't know if I could have continued on watching the 4K 60 frames per second any longer. I was starting to get a headache, and I was just not enjoying the look of the film. So yeah, I'm curious to see what you guys think if you've got the 4K player and you pick this film up and you've checked out the 60 frames per second version. What do you think? I checked out Twitter right away, and there were some fans of the format. They think it's dope. Not me. I'm sending out a letter to Hollywood right now. Don't do that anymore because it looks like shit. Just keep it traditional. It's what the eyes are used to, and it just looks like a movie, like cinema. So the movie was okay. I enjoyed it. It was a fun afternoon in, but I do not think I'm ever going to revisit it again, which is unusual for me and Will Smith. I love his movies. I usually revisit them over and over and over again. Like I said, I'm a big fan of his, but this one was really kind of just crappy. Watch Looper instead. That's a way better film. Looper, check it out. Anyway, guys, catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.